Hello, everybody. It's a bit of a different video today. I'm obviously sat on the couch. Um, I just wanted to share a video because obviously, you know, my last video, everything was going well. I just want to share what's happened with this latest dose that I'm on. Obviously, I'm on the 10 pen, um, which is our second pen of using 10 milligrams, and something's just not right with this pen. I don't know if I've had, I don't know if it's possible to have like a dodgy pen, but just to give you a bit of context, obviously, my first pen on 10 was absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. Took every dose. Felt a noticeable difference between the jump between 5 to 7 to 10. Have to be honest, the jump between 5 and 7.5 wasn't major. I didn't feel much of anything, if I'm being honest, much of a change. And the jump from 7.5 to 10 was good because it got rid of any food noises that were coming back. Um, but the first pen that we took, so obviously this will be 6 weeks ago. Absolutely fine, no issue. And then ordered the second one, and I've just taken. I took the final dose this week. Now, obviously, I mentioned it a couple of videos ago. I wasn't very well, and I attributed that towards a bug. I was being sick, and everything else that people don't need to hear. Um, but it took about 4 or 5 days to get over it, and I thought it was just a standard sickness bug. So because of not feeling well, me and my partner both thought it was a good idea to stay out, not take my dosage as I normally do on a Saturday, which meant that I took last week's dose last Wednesday, and that was the third dose of this pen. And I've took this one on Tuesday. So over the weekend, obviously, still feeling a bit ropey. I was absolutely fine. At the weekend, done my video on Sunday, felt absolutely champion. Obviously after the weight loss last week, I was really pleased. Then thought, considering I took the pen on Wednesday, I'm just going to wait as long as I can. Waited until Tuesday. That's when my partner took hers. I thought I'll take mine at the same time. It was absolutely fine. Felt fine up until the point of taking the pen. And then took the pen about 3 o'clock on Tuesday. And I'm not joking you. Within an hour, I started feeling sick. I started feeling really like dodgy gurgling sounds in my stomach all day. Was on the toilet. Obviously, again, I don't want to be too graphic because nobody wants to hear that. But I need to obviously give the story some context. And then I went to bed. I felt absolutely shocking. Um, Woke up yesterday, dreadful on the toilet, just really sore cramps in my stomach, and it was just a constant gurgling feeling. Um, Now, obviously, yesterday I was planning on going to I went to a gig last night in Scarborough. Went to see Judas Priest, in case anybody is, a fan of heavy metal, and great. Same, glad to have you on board. But all day I was thinking to myself, you know, from where we live, it's about 35 miles, but it's a really long journey to get there in terms of, you think 35 miles would take what, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but it takes well over an hour in the car, and it's all the country roads, from Redcar to there. And I was going with one of my mates, and I just thought all day I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm terrified of being in like caught short. I mean, need the toilet or whatever. I'd have to run. And at a gig, it's not exactly what you want to do. So anyway, I was panicking all day, not feeling very well, and just thought, I'm just gonna have to power through. Went to the gig, felt dodgy all night, but just powered through. We tried to take my mind off it by obviously being in a gig and enjoying the atmosphere. And, got back last night and felt absolutely fine again, because obviously I'd spent a few hours without, and I woke up this morning again, was feeling dodgy. So I just wanted to put this out there. Like, has anyone noticed this where you've been on a dosage, and your first one is absolutely fine, or your first couple are absolutely fine, then you'll go on to you'll buy another one of the same dosage, and you'll feel ill. um I don't know why it's happening. I've never had this before. I've never had these side effects before, like this, and it's quite concerning because I don't want to keep having to take take the dosage and then have to put up with a week of feeling ill. Do you know what I mean? And it really started to make me think about when I go on my holiday next week and go, I'm away for 10 nights. I've already said, I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm not going to go wild, obviously, but, I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, is it like, is it worth going back on Manjaro when I come back? Is it worth going down a dose, going down to five or 7.5? Do you know what I mean? I just, is this a way of my body telling me that it's had enough? I don't know. I just wanted some advice, from you guys. The advice I get from this community on YouTube and the people that watch these videos and leave their comments, I trust that advice a lot more than what I read. If you Google it or whatever, I trust a first-hand human account of things than I do of anything else. And I'm just a bit concerned because I've never had, as I say, up until the 10 dosage, I never got any of the side effects. But now, at the minute, I'm getting them all. The horrible burps and full of gas. I never ever had this, and it's just a shame because I don't want this to be the end of the journey. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to keep taking something if it's going to make me ill. I just wanted some advice and what if you guys had had any similar situations. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and if please leave some comments if you can give me some advice, help me out here. But yeah, Rob here again. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you in another update video after I get weighed on Friday. See you later.